Once fierce rivals, now teammates. China's Didi Chuxing will acquire Uber's China operations. In return, Uber gets a near 20% stake in the merged company.
Of all the companies we've competed with, that Didi is certainly the most impressive, the most competitive, probably the fiercest rival that we've ever come up against. They've made us better by having to compete with them, but I'd much rather be working with them.
Uber board member and early investor Bill Gurley of Benchmark Capital says that Uber has invested roughly $2 billion in China and comes away with a $7 billion share of a rapidly expanding Chinese company. Surrendering or waving the white flag.
Yeah.
What do you think of that perception?
You know, I look at it this way. You know, if any other startup in Silicon Valley were selling today for $7 billion, everyone would be writing about what an amazing outcome that it was. And there's a strong likelihood that China will be the biggest ride-sharing market in the world. But on top of that, you know, the U.S. market has evolved to a place where car ownership is pervasive. You know, China, that's not true at all, right? And so you have an opportunity to leapfrog car ownership.
Gurley says as part of the deal, Didi will also invest $1 billion in Uber's operations in other parts of the world. Co-founder and CEO Travis Kalanick posted in a blog that being successful is about listening to your head, as well as following your heart. Uber and Didi Chuxing are investing billions of dollars in China, and both companies have yet to turn a profit there. Getting to profitability is the only way to build a sustainable business that can best serve Chinese riders, drivers, and cities over the long term.
It doesn't make sense for a U.S. startup to go in China late and try to do a lot on its own. And it's a completely new, different market. It operates with dealing with the government's completely different. I think Travis is also very strategic at doing this deal because he knows that there are other markets beyond car sharing that he can go after. And he also knows that, you know, at some point in the future, it is possible that a Google or an Amazon will aggressively go into this market.
Tung is managing partner at GGV Capital, which is an investor in Didi Chuxing. He says potential synergy between the companies goes beyond ride-hailing services.
Food delivery, I think logistics are new things that these two companies can now do more of in the markets they're in.
The merger means Didi will become even more dominant on its home turf, but it also raises interesting questions about other markets like the U.S. Didi recently partnered and invested in the ride-sharing company Lyft, which is Uber's main rival. No word yet on how this awkward triangle will share the road ahead. Mark New, CCTV, Mountain View, California.